Welcome to WispHollow Tales, where the shadows come alive and every whisper carries a secret. Tonight, we journey into the heart of the Whispering Woods, a place steeped in mystery, where the past lingers like a haunting melody and every path leads to the unknown. Follow Anna as she ventures into these eerie woods, drawn by curiosity and the echoes of those who came before. But be warned, this forest is full of secrets, and those who seek them may find more than they bargained for. Now let the story unfold. Anna stands at the eerie entrance to the Whispering Woods, where twilight casts deep shadows through ancient trees. The air is thick with chilling mists and sinister whispers, setting the stage for her journey into the unknown. The path before her, barely visible through the undergrowth, promises a journey both enticing and foreboding. With each breath, Anna can hear the faint whispers carried on the cool breeze voices that seem both impossibly distant and unsettlingly close. These whispers speak of those who walked this path before her, hinting at their fates with words tangled in the rustling leaves. The forest feels alive, aware of her presence, as if it has been waiting for her arrival. Her hand tightens around the handle of her lantern, the light flickering as shadows begin to stretch and creep along the ground. Anna's heart beats a steady rhythm, a mix of fear and resolve cementing her decision to step forward. The boundary between the known world and the mysteries hidden within the woods blurs with each step she takes into the shroud of mist that guards the entrance. Anna's grandfather, a man known for his curiosity, ventured into these woods many years ago and returned with tales of something extraordinary hidden within. He recorded his findings in a journal, filled with cryptic notes and sketches of the forest. However, he never shared what he had discovered with anyone, leaving his family with only fragments of the truth. It was only after his passing, when Anna was digging through his old belongings, that she found the journal. The final pages hinted at something mysterious, deep within the woods, a secret he had uncovered but never revealed. Now, driven by both curiosity and a desire to understand her grandfather's legacy, Anna is determined to follow in his footsteps and uncover the truths hidden within the Whispering Woods. Despite the ominous atmosphere, a part of Anna is drawn to the unknown that lies ahead, compelled by the stories she grew up hearing. The woods have always been a place of mystery, spoken about in hushed tones by the villagers. Tonight, under the watchful gaze of the ancient trees, she takes her first steps into the legend, driven by a desire to uncover the truth her grandfather had hinted at, but never fully revealed. As Anna delves deeper into the forest, the path underfoot becomes more tangled with roots and overgrown brush, making her progress slow and laborious. The whispers that once felt distant at the entrance now surround her, growing in intensity as if the trees themselves are speaking. Their voices are a mix of caution and intrigue, swirling around her in the cool, damp air. The canopy above thickens, casting the forest floor into a deeper twilight. Every now and then, a sliver of remaining sunlight breaks through the leaves, illuminating the path ahead in fleeting moments of clarity. These brief glimpses reveal the beauty of the forest flowers that seem to glow with an inner light, moss that carpets the earth in a lush green, but they also expose the dangers, the sudden drop-offs beside the path, the bones of small animals scattered in the underbrush. Anna stops for a moment to listen more closely to the whispers. She can almost discern individual voices now, a child's plea, an old woman's soft laments, a young man's stern warning. The voices begin to form a narrative of their own, telling tales of those who wandered into these woods, drawn by curiosity or desperation, never to return. Each story is a thread in the dark tapestry of the forest's history, and Anna feels both a chill and a thrill as she realizes that she is walking the same ground they once did. She continues on, her hand gripping the journal tighter with each step. The path seems to respond to her presence, the roots becoming more intertwined, making her every step a careful calculation. It feels as though the forest is testing her, challenging her resolve with physical and psychological hurdles. Yet, with each challenge overcome, Anna's determination grows stronger, fueled by the whispers that now seem to urge her forward, deeper into the heart of the woods. Pausing to catch her breath, Anna looks back at the way she's come. The path is nearly obscured by the overgrowth, her footprints the only sign of her passage. She turns back to the route ahead, the forest seeming to close behind her, erasing her trail, as if ensuring that her focus remains only forward, deeper into its mysteries. Anna's path leads her to an unexpected clearing, where the dense canopy opens up, allowing streaks of moonlight to penetrate the perpetual gloom of the forest. In the center of this natural amphitheater lies a small, mirror-like pond, its surface so still that it appears to be a portal to another world. The reflective water casts back the image of the moon, fractured by the occasional ripple, as if something just beneath the surface disturbs it. The hollow is ringed by ancient stones, moss-covered and etched with runes that glow faintly in the moonlight. As Anna steps closer, the air grows noticeably colder, and the whispers transform into echoes that bounce softly around the clearing. Each echo seems to carry a fragment of a conversation or a snippet of laughter, a haunting reminder of the hollow's past visitors, whose spirits linger in the heavy air. With a cautious hand, Anna reaches out to touch one of the stones, feeling the ancient carvings under her fingertips. The moment she makes contact, the echoes intensify, as if her presence has awakened the memories stored within the stone. Voices of the past swell around her, telling stories of joy and sorrow, gatherings and partings. It feels as if the hollow itself is alive with the histories of those who once stood where she stands now. Curious, Anna opens her grandfather's journal, searching for any mention of this place. The pages fall open to a sketch of the very same pond, accompanied by a note describing it as a place of reflection and revelation. Her grandfather's handwriting suggests a caution, warning of the hollow's captivating beauty and its ability to unearth deep-seated emotions in those who linger too long. Compelled by the stories echoing around her, Anna sits by the edge of the pond, peering into its depths. As she watches, the water's surface begins to ripple, and for a moment, it seems as though the faces of those echoing in the air appear in the water, looking up at her. Their expressions are somber, filled with a wisdom born of their experiences within these woods. Anna feels a connection to these lost spirits, her heart heavy with the weight of their tales. She whispers a silent promise into the chilly night to remember them and their stories, to carry their memories with her as she continues her journey deeper into the woods. Anna's trek brings her to an age-worn bridge arching gracefully over a narrow but tumultuous stream. The bridge, cloaked in a blanket of moss and clinging vines, looks as though it might have sprouted from the earth itself. Its wooden planks, weathered by time and the constant mist rising from the water below, groan under her weight, echoing the stream's restless murmurs. As she steps onto the bridge, a sense of profound sorrow washes over her. The air here is thick with the unspoken regrets of those who pass this way, their sighs seeming to merge with the sounds of the flowing water. It's as if the bridge acts as a conduit for emotions, amplifying the sadness of the stream that has witnessed countless farewells and solitary journeys. With each tentative step, Anna feels the bridge sway slightly beneath her. The whispers of the woods fall silent here, replaced by the more tangible sound of water striking rocks. It's a lonely sound that speaks to the solitude of the forest's heart. Looking down into the swirling water, Anna sees not just the reflection of the moon, but the fleeting images of people crossing in times past, their faces etched with resolve and despair. Halfway across, she pauses to listen to the water's story, told in splashes and gurgles against the old stone supports of the bridge. Her hand trails along the damp railing, fingers brushing against an old carving initials entwined in a heart, a testament to a moment of love or friendship in this somber place. The small act of human warmth against the backdrop of melancholy strikes a chord in Anna, reminding her of her own connections and the reasons she must continue. As the end of the bridge nears, the weight of the forest's sorrow seems to lift, giving way to a renewed silence that feels like a held breath. Anna steps off the bridge with a sense of leaving behind the heavy emotions it harbors, stepping into a part of the forest that holds fewer spirits, but perhaps deeper secrets. The path forward is less worn, the trees denser, as if challenging her to find her own way through the layers of mystery that await. Emerging from the shadows of the dense forest, Anna steps into a glade bathed in the silvery light of the moon. The clearing is unusually still, the air thick with a palpable sense of morning. In the center stands a solitary willow tree, its branches draped gracefully toward the ground, leaves trembling as if in silent sobs. Beneath the willow, the grass is lush and green, dotted with wildflowers that glow faintly under the moonlight, adding a surreal quality to the scene. As she approaches the willow, the reason for the glade's mournful atmosphere becomes clear. The air here is filled with a gentle weeping, not of a human, but of the tree itself. Droplets of water fall from the tips of its leaves, creating tiny ripples in the small pond below. These are no ordinary tears. They shimmer with a light that is neither from the pond nor from the moon, but a luminescent sorrow that the tree seems to exude. Intrigued, Anna reaches out to touch the bark of the willow, and as she does, the weeping intensifies, resonating with a deep, sorrowful melody. The touch brings a rush of emotions: grief, loss, but also love and hope, as if the tree is sharing its centuries-old heartache with her. The stories of those who have cried under its branches, their tears mingled with the tree's own, are whispered in her ear, tales of heartbreak and healing intertwined. Compelled to understand more, Anna sits beneath the willow, letting the droplets fall around her, each carrying echoes of the past. She opens her grandfather's journal once more, finding a passage that speaks of the weeping willow of the Whispering Woods, known to locals as a place of catharsis and reflection. Many have left their sorrows in the care of the willow, and in return, they carried away a piece of its resilience. As she sits in contemplation, Anna feels a subtle shift within herself, a lightening of the burdens she carried into the woods. The willow's sorrow, shared and witnessed, seems to cleanse the pain, replacing it with a quiet strength. She realizes that this glade, with its weeping sentinel, is a sanctuary not just for the forest, but for any who seek solace in its shade. Venturing further into the heart of the woods, Anna encounters a peculiar geological formation, a natural amphitheater surrounded by steep, moss-covered embankments. The dense canopy above parts slightly, allowing thin beams of moonlight to illuminate the center of the hollow. Here, the ground is carpeted with a thick layer of fallen leaves, which muffle her footsteps and amplify the eerie silence of the place. As Anna steps into the hollow, her presence disrupts the quiet equilibrium. Sounds begin to behave strangely, echoing back to her from the embankments with an almost deliberate delay. Her own breathing, the crunch of leaves underfoot, even the slight rustling of the trees seem to play back to her, creating a disconcerting symphony of duplicated noises. The effect is disorienting, blurring the line between the sounds she makes and those mirrored by the hollow. Curiosity piqued and caution heightened, Anna pauses to test the phenomenon, clapping her hands sharply. The sound reverberates around her, repeating several times before fading into a whisper that seems to carry a message. She listens intently, trying to decipher the words that mingle with the echoes. They seem to speak of ancient ceremonies held in this very spot, where voices of the past convened in chants that once celebrated the cycles of nature and now mourn their passing. The echo whispers tell of gatherings where the community shared stories of the seasons, of harvests and hunts, of births and deaths, all under the watchful eyes of the woods. As she absorbs the history vibrating through the air, Anna feels a connection to these long-gone inhabitants of the forest, their lives and rituals now part of the woodland lore. Moved by the echoes of the past, Anna takes a moment to sit among the leaves, closing her eyes to better hear the stories. The hollow, like a natural repository of memory, seems eager to impart its knowledge, offering her whispers of wisdom carried on echoes that defy time. Each repeated sound, each echoed whisper, strengthens her resolve to uncover more of the forest's secrets, guiding her deeper into its mystical heart. Leaving the hollow of echoes behind, Anna follows a narrow path that leads deeper into the woods. Soon, she discovers an unusual sight, a long, straight corridor formed by two rows of towering pines. The trees stand unnaturally aligned, as if planted for a purpose long forgotten, their trunks forming a stark contrast to the chaotic wilderness surrounding them. As Anna steps into this corridor, the air shifts. The playful whispers of the woods turn into hushed tones, as if the corridor itself commands a solemn respect. Her footsteps echo softly on a carpet of pine needles, each sound crisp and clear in the still air. The corridor seems to stretch endlessly before her, its end lost in a mist that gathers between the trees, veiling whatever lies beyond. With each step, the whispers intensify, no longer just indistinct murmurings, but distinct voices speaking in urgent, albeit gentle, tones. They seem to be guiding her, encouraging her to keep moving forward. Despite the increasing fog, Anna feels an inexplicable pull, a need to see where this path leads. The voices speak of ancient secrets and hidden truths, tantalizing snippets of knowledge that promise answers to the questions that have driven her into the depths of the forest. The further she walks, the more the corridor seems to come alive. Shadows move just beyond her peripheral vision, quick, fleeting movements that suggest she is not alone. Yet, when she turns to look, there is nothing but the still pines and the creeping mist. The sensation of being watched grows stronger, a prickling at the back of her neck that keeps her alert. Midway down the corridor, Anna finds a series of carvings on the trunks of several trees' symbols that resemble the ancient runes she had seen in her grandfather's journal. They glow faintly in the dim light, each one marking a significant point in the corridor. She stops to trace the symbols with her fingers, feeling a surge of energy at each touch. The whispers crescendo into a coherent voice, articulating a welcome and a warning. She is on the right path, but the journey ahead is fraught with challenges that will test her resolve and her heart. After leaving the eerie orderliness of the corridor of whispers, Anna's path leads her into an area where the trees thin out slightly, allowing a dense, enveloping mist to settle over the land. This mist, unlike any she has encountered before, hangs heavy in the air, cloaking everything in a ghostly white veil that dampens sounds and obscures sight. As she steps into the mist, Anna feels as if she has entered another world. The ground underfoot softens, and the air cools, sending a shiver up her spine. Visibility dwindles to just a few feet, and the forest around her fades into a wash of gray and white. The mist seems to have a presence of its own alive, moving subtly, swirling around her in patterns that almost seem intentional. The whispers here are muted, stifled by the thick fog, but she feels the presence of the forest more acutely than ever. Each step forward is tentative, as the path is no longer visible, and navigation becomes a matter of intuition rather than sight. Anna relies on the subtle changes in the terrain beneath her feet, and the occasional clearer areas where the mist momentarily thins, revealing glimpses of the path ahead. Suddenly, in the near distance, she sees a faint light, a soft blue glow that seems out of place in the monotone world the mist has created. Drawn to this anomaly, Anna moves towards it, finding that with each step, the light grows stronger, pulsing gently like the beat of a heart. As she approaches, the light resolves into bioluminescent flowers scattered across the forest floor, their glow piercing the mist with ethereal light. Intrigued and momentarily lifted from her apprehension, Anna kneels to examine the flowers. Their petals are unlike any she has seen, thin and translucent, yet vibrant against the pallid surroundings. Touching one, Anna feels a rush of warmth that cuts through the chill of the mist. It's as if the flowers are imbued with a life force that contrasts starkly with the somber mood of the surrounding woods. Encouraged by this discovery, Anna collects a few of the glowing flowers, thinking they might serve as a guide through the mist. With these natural lanterns in hand, she presses on, the light from the flowers casting eerie, dancing shadows on the mist around her, guiding her deeper into the mysteries of the whispering woods. As Anna continues her journey, the mist begins to thin, revealing a new section of the forest that feels distinctly different from the areas she has traversed before. The trees here are massive, their trunks wider than she is tall, with bark that looks almost like weathered stone. Their roots twist and coil above the ground, creating natural barriers that force Anna to carefully navigate her way forward. These are the guardian trees, ancient sentinels of the forest, and their presence is both imposing and awe-inspiring. The air beneath the canopy of these giants is still and heavy, carrying the scent of rich earth and the faint aroma of decaying leaves. The light that filters through their dense foliage is dim, casting everything in a muted, greenish hue. The trees stand so close together that they form a nearly impenetrable wall of wood and shadow. As Anna moves between them, she feels a sense of being watched, as though the forest itself is assessing her worthiness to proceed. These trees, Anna knows from her grandfather's journal, are the oldest and most revered in the Whispering Woods. The journal spoke of them as guardians, living witnesses to the forest's long history and protectors of its deepest secrets. Their roots, some as thick as tree trunks themselves, weave through the earth like the veins of the forest, connecting everything within it. As she walks, Anna notices that the ground beneath her feet is riddled with these roots, creating a network that feels almost alive, responding to her presence with a subtle vibration. The whispers that have accompanied her throughout her journey are different here, lower, more resonant, as if the voices of the forest's ancient spirits are speaking through the trees themselves. The messages are not just warnings or lures now. They are questions, probing her intentions, testing her resolve. The trees seem to communicate with each other as she passes, their leaves rustling in response to her movements, their trunks creaking as if in conversation. At one point, Anna finds her way blocked by a particularly massive root, its surface rough and gnarled like the skin of some ancient creature. She hesitates, feeling the weight of the forest's gaze upon her. The moment feels like a test, a challenge set by the guardians to determine if she is truly worthy to pass through their domain. Taking a deep breath, she carefully climbs over the root, her hands finding purchase in the rough bark, her feet steady on the tangled mass. As she descends on the other side, the whispers seem to grow quieter, as if the forest has accepted her presence, at least for now. The path ahead is narrow, squeezed between the massive trunks, but Anna feels a sense of accomplishment, knowing she has passed through one of the most formidable parts of the Whispering Woods. Yet, she remains aware that this is not a victory, but merely the permission to continue deeper into the heart of the forest, where even greater challenges await. As Anna navigates through the maze of towering guardian trees, the path begins to widen slightly, leading her into a secluded area where the forest's dense canopy opens just enough to allow faint beams of moonlight to pierce the darkness. Here, she stumbles upon the remnants of an old camp, a forgotten site that speaks of past visitors who ventured too far into the Whispering Woods. The camp is eerily silent, as if time itself has slowed in this small clearing. A dilapidated tent, its fabric worn and tattered, leans precariously against a large boulder. Nearby, the remains of a fire pit lie cold and undisturbed, with charred wood still arranged in a circle, untouched by time or the elements. Scattered around the campsite are the remnants of a hurried departure, a half-buried backpack, a rusted lantern, and a few personal items that hint at the people who once called this place a temporary home. Anna kneels beside the fire pit, brushing away layers of leaves and dirt to reveal the ash beneath. The fire was extinguished long ago, but the sense of sudden abandonment lingers in the air. She picks up the rusted lantern, its glass cracked but still intact, and imagines the moment when its light last flickered in the darkness. The camp tells a story of desperation of people who, like her, sought something within these woods, but found themselves caught in the forest's grip. Nearby, Anna finds a small, weathered journal half buried under a pile of leaves. Its pages are damp and fragile, the ink smudged and faded, but still legible. Flipping through the pages, she discovers hurried entries filled with accounts of the forest's strange phenomena, the whispers, the shadows, the feeling of being watched. The final entries are short and frantic, speaking of disorientation and fear, of a growing sense that the forest was closing in around them. The last page is torn, the final words a scrawled plea for help that was never answered. The discovery of this camp shakes Anna. It's a stark reminder of the dangers that lurk within the Whispering Woods, of those who came before her and were unable to escape its clutches. Yet, rather than deterring her, it strengthens her resolve. Unlike the campers who abandoned their journey, she feels a deeper connection to the forest, a sense that, despite its dangers, the woods are guiding her towards something important, something she was meant to find. As she stands to leave, Anna takes the small journal with her, tucking it safely into her grandfather's journal as a companion piece. The items left behind the lantern, the tent, the fire pit are left undisturbed, like a memorial to the lost souls who once sought answers here. She moves forward with a renewed determination, aware that the path she's on is fraught with peril, but confident that she is not alone in her quest. The forest, with all its mysteries and dangers, is watching, waiting to reveal its secrets to those who dare to seek them. Leaving the abandoned camp behind, Anna presses onward through the forest, her steps guided by a mix of intuition and the faint trails left by others before her. The woods around her grow quieter, the usual rustling of leaves and occasional whispers replaced by a heavy, almost reverent silence. The path narrows again, leading her to a dry creek bed that cuts through the forest like a scar. As Anna descends into the creek bed, she notices something unusual. Scattered across the ground are dozens of stones, each one smooth and flat, their surfaces polished as if by years of water running over them. But the creek bed is dry, and the stones seem deliberately placed, arranged in intricate patterns that draw her closer. Kneeling to examine the stones, Anna sees that each one is etched with symbols, runes, and markings similar to those she encountered in the corridor of whispers. Some stones are arranged in spirals, others in straight lines, but all of them seem to converge toward the center of the creek bed, where a larger, more elaborately carved stone lies half buried in the earth. As she reaches out to touch the central stone, the whispers return, louder now and more insistent. Unlike the other whispers she has heard, these are clearer, almost like voices speaking directly to her. The stones, she realizes, are not just markers. They are messages left by those who walked this path before her. They speak of journeys and trials, of hopes and fears, of the reasons why so many were drawn to the Whispering Woods. The stones seem to respond to her touch, their whispers intertwining to form a coherent narrative, a story of travelers who came seeking wisdom, power, or solace, each one leaving a piece of themselves behind in the form of these stones. The runes, when combined, tell tales of success and failure, of those who found what they sought and those who were consumed by the forest's mysteries. Feeling a deep connection to these past explorers, Anna begins to rearrange some of the stones, following an instinct she can't quite explain. As she does, the whispers guide her, offering subtle suggestions that help her uncover a hidden pattern in the stones. When the final piece clicks into place, the whispers suddenly stop, and the forest falls into a profound silence. In that moment of stillness, Anna feels a shift in the air, as if the forest itself is acknowledging her efforts. The central stone, now fully revealed, pulses with a faint light, casting long shadows across the creek bed. The message is clear: she has passed another test, uncovering a truth that has eluded many before her. The stones have shared their wisdom, and now they fall silent, their purpose fulfilled. With the path ahead now clearer, Anna rises, leaving the stones undisturbed, except for the rearrangements she has made. She carries with her the knowledge that she is not the first to walk this path, nor will she be the last, but that her journey is unique, shaped by the choices she makes and the whispers she heeds. As Anna continues through the dense woods, the path gradually widens, leading her into an open clearing bathed in pale moonlight. The sudden openness feels disconcerting after so many hours navigating the narrow, twisted paths of the forest. The clearing is eerily quiet, with only the soft rustling of leaves and the slight breeze to break the silence. The ground is covered in short grass, interrupted by patches of bare earth that look as though they've been deliberately cleared. As she steps into the clearing, Anna immediately notices something: strange shadows that should be cast by the surrounding trees and herself don't behave as they should. They stretch out unnaturally long, twisting and warping on the ground as if alive. Her own shadow seems to move independently, not following the natural movement of her body. She takes a step forward, and her shadow lags behind, then suddenly snaps back into place as if caught by surprise. Feeling a surge of unease, Anna instinctively reaches into her satchel and pulls out one of the glowing flowers she had found earlier. The flower's soft, ethereal light casts a gentle glow around her, pushing back the encroaching darkness. As she holds the flower up, she notices that the shadows around her begin to retreat slightly, their movements becoming less erratic and more controlled. The light from the flower seems to create a protective barrier, keeping the most unsettling shadows at bay. The trees at the edge of the clearing seem to lean inward, their branches reaching out like skeletal hands grasping for something just beyond their reach. As the breeze picks up, the shadows cast by the trees begin to dance and swirl across the ground, moving in patterns that defy logic. Some of the shadows grow darker and more defined, taking on vague human shapes that flicker and shift, never fully forming but always on the verge of becoming something recognizable. Yet, wherever the light from Anna's glowing flower touches, the shadows hesitate, as if repelled by its warmth. Anna feels a chill run down her spine as she realizes that these shadows are more than mere tricks of the light. They are echoes of the past, imprints of those who once stood in this very spot. The clearing feels like a place caught between worlds, where the barrier between the living and the dead is thin, allowing these shadowy figures to manifest. They seem to be reenacting scenes from long ago glimpses of past travelers, their movements a ghostly dance of repetition. But the glowing flower in her hand provides a tenuous shield, its light offering some comfort amidst the eerie display. As she watches, one of the shadows breaks away from the rest and begins to move toward her. It glides across the ground with unnerving speed, closing the distance in seconds. Anna instinctively steps back, but the shadow stops just short of her feet, hovering there as if waiting. She hesitates, unsure whether to stay or flee, but something compels her to remain still. She tightens her grip on the glowing flower, and the shadow seems to falter, unable to advance any further into the light's reach. The shadow slowly stretches upwards, mimicking the form of a person rising from the ground. It stands before her, a dark, indistinct figure that seems to pulse with a cold energy. Though it has no face, Anna feels its gaze fixed on her, a silent communication passing between them. The figure raises an arm, pointing toward the opposite side of the clearing, where the path continues into the woods. Then, as quickly as it appeared, the shadow dissolves back into the ground, leaving only the faintest outline behind. Anna feels a mixture of fear and fascination. The shadow's message is clear: this is the way forward. The other shadows continue their ghostly dance, but they no longer seem threatening, just echoes of the past, repeating their endless cycle. With a deep breath, she crosses the clearing, her eyes fixed on the path ahead, the glowing flower in her hand warding off the lingering shadows that trail behind. As she leaves the clearing, Anna glances back one last time. The shadows continue their eerie dance, but now they seem to bow slightly, as if acknowledging her presence and her journey. The clearing falls into silence once more, and Anna steps back into the forest, the path ahead shrouded in mystery, but now marked by the guidance of those who came before and the light of the glowing flower she carries. The forest path narrows once more as Anna continues deeper into the whispering woods. The dense trees press in on either side, their branches forming an almost tunnel-like canopy overhead, filtering the moonlight into soft, fragmented beams that dance along the forest floor. After what feels like an eternity of winding through this shadowy passage, the trees suddenly part, revealing another clearing ahead. This time, the clearing is dominated by a large, perfectly still pool of water, its surface like glass, reflecting the sky above. Anna approaches the pool cautiously, the glowing flower still clutched in her hand, casting a soft light around her. The pool's surface is so clear that she can see every detail of the night sky, reflected in it the stars, the moon, even the faint outlines of clouds. It's as if the sky has been captured within the water, holding a mirror to the heavens. Kneeling by the edge of the pool, Anna leans over to get a closer look. Her own reflection stares back at her, pale and ghostly in the moonlight. But as she gazes into the water, something strange begins to happen. The reflection of her face starts to blur and shift, the features morphing and changing until she is no longer looking at herself, but at the face of another, a woman with sad, dark eyes and a wistful expression. Anna gasps and pulls back, but the image in the water remains, as if the pool is showing her something from the past. Drawn by an inexplicable compulsion, Anna leans in again, this time focusing on the image of the woman. The figure in the water seems to be moving, her lips parting, as if she is trying to speak. Though no sound reaches Anna's ears, the message is clear: this woman, whoever she was, had once stood where Anna now kneels, peering into the same pool, searching for answers. The reflection shifts again, showing glimpses of other faces, men and women, young and old, all with the same searching eyes, all connected by their presence at this mysterious pool. Suddenly, the water begins to ripple violently, distorting the images, and Anna feels an icy chill radiate from the pool. The woman in the water, once so ethereal and distant, becomes startlingly real. Her hand shoots up from the depths, breaking through the glassy surface with a splash, fingers outstretched as if to grab hold of Anna. The hand is cold, clammy, and surprisingly strong as it seizes Anna's wrist, pulling her toward the water with an unnatural force. Panic surges through Anna, and she instinctively yanks her arm back, struggling to free herself from the iron grip. The glowing flower in her other hand flares brightly, casting a fierce light that momentarily blinds her. The light seems to weaken the apparition, and with one final desperate pull, Anna breaks free, stumbling back from the edge of the pool. The woman's hand retreats into the water just as quickly as it appeared, the surface returning to its unnatural calm, as though nothing had happened. Breathing heavily, Anna stares at the pool, her heart racing. The reflection is once again just that, a simple mirror of the night sky, her own face looking back at her with wide, frightened eyes. She clutches the glowing flower tightly, realizing that it may have saved her from being pulled into whatever haunted depths lay beneath the surface. The encounter leaves her shaken, a stark reminder of the dangers that lurk within the whispering woods, even in places that appear serene. For a moment, Anna contemplates what she has seen and experienced, wondering what the pool is trying to tell her. The reflections were not just echoes of the past. They were warnings, and the woman's attempt to drag her into the water was a clear message that the forest holds its secrets tightly, resisting those who seek to uncover them. The pool has revealed to her the souls who came before, each leaving a part of themselves behind, just as she now leaves a part of herself within the water's depths. Rising from the edge of the pool, Anna feels a renewed sense of purpose, but also a heightened sense of caution. The journey through the whispering woods is not just about discovering the forest's secrets, but about surviving them. The pool has shown her that she is not alone, that the forest is filled with the echoes of those who came before her, guiding her forward, but also testing her resolve. With a final glance at the pool, Anna turns and continues along the path, the glowing flower in her hand, casting a warm light as she steps back into the forest's embrace. The reflection pool behind her grows still once more, the stars and moon settling back into their mirror image, waiting for the next seeker to uncover its mysteries. As Anna presses on through the forest, the path ahead becomes more difficult to discern. The dense trees and underbrush create a labyrinth of shadows that seem to shift and change with every step she takes. The glowing flower she carries continues to provide some comfort, its light pushing back the darkness, but the weight of the journey is beginning to take its toll. The encounter at the reflection pool lingers in her mind, and she can feel the exhaustion creeping into her bones. Just when she thinks she can go no further, the forest opens up into a small, enchanting clearing. The moon hangs low in the sky, casting a silver glow over the scene. In the center of the clearing, a circle of fireflies dances in the air, their tiny bodies flickering like stars come to life. The sight is mesmerizing, a perfect moment of natural beauty in the midst of the forest's overwhelming gloom. Anna steps into the clearing, drawn to the soft, pulsing light of the fireflies. The air here feels different, warmer, lighter, as if she has stepped into a different world altogether. The tension that has been her constant companion since entering the Whispering Woods seems to melt away, replaced by a sense of calm and wonder. She watches the fireflies swirl around her, their light creating intricate patterns in the air, like a delicate choreography designed just for her. She sits down in the center of the clearing, her legs folding beneath her, and for the first time in hours, she allows herself to relax. The fireflies continue their dance, weaving in and out of the trees, forming a glowing circle around her. The whispers that have haunted her throughout the forest are absent here, replaced by the soft hum of the fireflies' wings and the gentle rustling of leaves. It feels like a sanctuary, a place where the forest has no need for its usual tests and trials. As she sits, watching the dance of light, Anna finds herself thinking of her grandfather. The peacefulness of the clearing reminds her of the stories he used to tell, of how he would sit under the stars and listen to the night speak. She pulls out his journal, flipping through the pages until she finds a passage that describes a similar scene, fireflies dancing in a circle, their light creating a mesmerizing display. However, her grandfather's notes are hesitant. He writes of being unsure what to make of the fireflies, noting that while they seemed harmless, there was an unsettling quality to their behavior, something he couldn't quite understand. As she reads, Anna notices something strange. The fireflies seem to be drawn to the glowing flower she holds. Their dance becomes more erratic, the circle tightening around her as more of the tiny creatures gather, their lights growing brighter and more intense. The once comforting glow of the flower now seems to attract the fireflies in a way that feels ominous. The air grows warmer, almost stifling, and the hum of the fireflies' wings turns into a louder, more aggressive buzzing. Realizing the danger, Anna quickly closes the journal and carefully tucks the glowing flower back into her satchel. Almost immediately, the fireflies' behavior changes. Their lights dim slightly, and the circle begins to widen again, the oppressive heat and buzzing receding as they lose interest in her without the flower's glow to draw them in. The fireflies continue to dance, but their focus shifts away from Anna, allowing her to stand and move freely. Relieved, Anna carefully makes her way to the edge of the clearing, watching the fireflies from a distance. The passage through this part of the woods had been deceptive. What had seemed like a moment of respite had quickly turned into a potential threat. She realizes that, just as her grandfather had suspected, the fireflies are not entirely benign, and their allure can easily become a danger. Once she is safely beyond the clearing, Anna retrieves the glowing flower from her satchel. Its light, once again unobscured, provides her with the comfort and guidance she needs to continue her journey. The whispers return as she steps back onto the forest path, but they are softer now, almost congratulatory, as if acknowledging her ability to navigate the subtle dangers of the woods. With the glowing flower in hand, Anna presses on, her steps more cautious yet determined. The fireflies' circle was a test, another challenge to overcome, and she knows there will be more ahead. The path before her is dark, but she feels a renewed sense of purpose as she continues deeper into the heart of the Whispering Woods. As Anna continues deeper into the Whispering Woods, the path narrows once more, the trees growing so close together that their branches intertwine overhead, forming a natural archway. The forest around her is dense and silent, the whispers that have accompanied her throughout her journey now barely audible, as if the woods themselves are holding their breath in anticipation of what lies ahead. The light from the glowing flower in her hand flickers gently, casting long, wavering shadows on the forest floor. After what feels like an eternity of walking through the shadowy tunnel of trees, the path suddenly widens, opening into a vast circular clearing. At the center of this clearing stands a single, enormous oak tree, its trunk wider than any she has seen, its roots spreading out like veins through the earth. The tree's bark is dark and deeply grooved, its branches reaching high into the sky, creating a canopy that seems to touch the stars. This is the heart of the Whispering Woods, the place where all the forest's mysteries converge. As she steps into the clearing, Anna feels a powerful energy radiating from the oak tree. The air is thick with an ancient, almost primal presence, and the ground beneath her feet seems to pulse with life. The whispers, once so faint, return with renewed intensity, swirling around her in a cacophony of voices. They speak in a language she cannot understand, yet their meaning is clear. The tree is the source of all she has experienced in the woods, the keeper of its secrets, and the guardian of its power. The glowing flower in her hand flares brightly, as if in response to the tree's presence. Its light illuminates the clearing, revealing intricate patterns carved into the ground around the tree circles, spirals and runes that seem to pulse with the same energy she feels in the air. The patterns are ancient, older than the forest itself, and Anna realizes that they are not just markings, but a map of the woods, a representation of the journey she has taken to reach this place. Drawn by an irresistible force, Anna approaches the tree, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and anticipation. As she reaches the base of the tree, she notices something extraordinary. The bark is not just dark, it is covered in symbols and carvings, similar to those she saw on the stones in the dry creek bed. These symbols glow faintly in the dim light, pulsing in time with the whispers that fill the air. It's as if the tree is alive, not just in the way all trees are, but in a sentient, almost conscious way. Reaching out, Anna places her hand on the trunk of the oak, feeling the rough texture of the bark beneath her fingers. The moment she makes contact, the whispers stop, and the clearing falls into a profound silence. The tree seems to respond to her touch, a deep, resonant hum vibrating through the ground and up into her hand. It is a feeling of connection, of being a part of something far greater than herself. The tree is communicating with her, sharing its ancient knowledge and its role as the heart of the Whispering Woods. As the hum intensifies, Anna feels a flood of images and emotions rushing through her mind, visions of the forest's creation, of the countless souls who have walked its paths, of the power that lies within its boundaries. She sees glimpses of her grandfather, young and determined, standing in this very clearing, searching for the same truths she now seeks. The tree reveals to her the purpose of her journey, the reason she was drawn to the woods, and the connection she shares with those who came before her. But along with the knowledge comes a warning. The power of the Whispering Woods is not to be taken lightly. The forest is a living entity, with its own will and its own desires. Those who seek its secrets must be prepared to pay a price, to give something of themselves in return for the wisdom they gain. Anna feels the weight of this truth settling on her shoulders, a reminder that her journey is not over, and that the choices she makes here will shape the rest of her life. As the connection between Anna and the tree deepens, she becomes aware of a choice she must make. The tree offers her a gift: knowledge, power, and a deeper understanding of the forest's mysteries. But in return, she must leave a part of herself behind. The glowing flower she carries, which has guided her through the darkest parts of the forest, is not just a beacon of light. It is a representation of her essence, her spirit, her very soul. The flower's glow has dimmed and brightened in response to her journey, reflecting her emotions, her fears, and her hopes. It is a part of her, and the tree demands it as a sacrifice. With a deep breath, Anna closes her eyes and reaches into her satchel, holding the glowing flower close to her chest. As she does, she feels a deep, profound connection to it, realizing that by offering it to the tree, she is giving up a piece of herself, a piece of her soul. The thought fills her with both dread and resolve. She understands that this is the price she must pay to complete her journey, to truly understand the forest and her place within it. Placing the flower at the base of the tree, Anna steps back, feeling a sense of loss as the flower's light begins to fade. The tree absorbs the flower's glow, the light spreading through its roots and up into its branches, illuminating the entire clearing with a soft, ethereal radiance. The whispers return, softer now, almost like a lullaby, as the tree acknowledges Anna's sacrifice and the choice she has made. The clearing is filled with a peaceful, almost sacred energy, as if the forest itself is offering its blessing. Anna feels a deep connection to the Whispering Woods, a bond that will stay with her long after she leaves this place. The tree, now glowing with the light of the flower, stands as a silent witness to her journey, a guardian of the secrets she has uncovered. She knows that, in giving up the flower, she has given a part of herself to the forest, but in return, she has gained something far greater, a deeper understanding of the world and her place within it. As she turns to leave, Anna knows that the forest will always be a part of her, just as she will always be a part of the forest. The path ahead is clear, leading her out of the clearing and back through the woods. The journey has changed her, deepened her understanding of herself and the power of the natural world. The Whispering Woods, with all its mysteries and dangers, has given her something she could never have found elsewhere, an understanding of the sacrifices required to truly connect with the world around her. With one last glance at the glowing tree, Anna steps back into the forest, her heart lightened by the knowledge she has gained. The journey through the Whispering Woods is over, but its legacy will remain with her forever. Thank you for joining us on this eerie journey through the Whispering Woods. If you enjoyed this tale and want to hear more stories that blur the line between reality and the supernatural, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to WispHollow Tales. Your support helps keep the whispers alive. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and remember, some paths are better left untrodden.